Could China be getting ready to get back into crypto in a very big way? Well, the Chinese economy is starting to open back up, and this could be really good for cryptocurrency markets, even markets more broadly. But there are some key catalysts that could actually end up being a strong indicator for why this could really hit crypto. Remember, the crypto market is, well, global after all. And while we talk about the USA a lot since it is the biggest economy in the world, the truth is Asia is a major mover when it comes to the cryptocurrency markets. It's super popular in Japan and Korea and Vietnam and China, of course, and beyond. And that China reopening, it could end up being a major catalyst for the cryptocurrency markets. And it all starts with the end of their insane zero COVID policy, a policy which shut down entire cities, entire regions, had massive effects on China's industrial base and, of course, the global economy and global supply chains. But I don't want to look back at what was. I want to explore what could be, because the end of zero COVID means, of course, that China is reopening its economy. Don't underestimate how big of a deal this could be for markets. Remember, China is the second biggest economy in the world. It has a GDP of $15 trillion. The USA, for reference, has a $20 trillion GDP. That economy has been completely locked down for 3 years due to COVID. That economy, that $15 trillion economy, is now reopening. And they are doing so aggressively with their new policies rolling out. That means millions of Chinese tourists are heading out. That means more business is going to start happening. It means production is going to start ramping back up. That means supply chains are going to stop having so many problems. That means more demand is going to be coming in from Chinese consumers. Although the commodity price boom was largely expected to go totally crazy as soon as it happened, it hasn't really happened yet. The price of oil and key metals like copper remain rather muted for now. I would argue that the reopening is still so new, it's only been happening for a few weeks, that the impact hasn't really started to move across global markets yet. Supply chains and those supply and demand features haven't really caught up yet. We are seeing things like big spikes in jet fuel demand happening right now in China, so that is already starting to take place. Check out this chart too from Goldman Sachs and note what they say. They say that they expect China's economy to grow by 6.5% this year, with a 9% annualized growth spike in Q2 as economic activity explodes during this reopening phase. Goldman also thinks that China's reopening could end up boosting oil prices globally by around 20% up to the end of the year, as well as, of course, to create more global growth as demand from China rises and production returns to its normal levels. It's also worth noting that China does not exist in a vacuum. As you can see here, this chart shows the IMF's global outlook is actually showing that growth in the USA is set to slow in 2023. Europe is going to be taking a big hit this year as the war in Ukraine and the effects that is really just having right across the continent continues. Those consequences continue to be felt. So the slowdown effect in those economies obviously is going to have a negative global impact, even if growth in Asia is rising. Now, before telling you about exactly why China could be ready to boost up the cryptocurrency markets, I just wanted to let you know about my weekly crypto investor newsletter. It's called Wealth Mastery, and it is just jam-packed full of alpha on altcoins and airdrops and NFTs, DeFi tutorials, market analysis, and much, much more. Join our over 50,000 weekly readers by signing up for free using that link down below in the description. So at this point, you're probably wondering, okay, Lark, all that stuff about China, that's great, man, but what about my dog coins? What about my old man Bitcoin? Are they going to moon? Well, let's talk about how China reopening could actually affect the cryptocurrency markets. And I know what you're thinking, but Lark, didn't China ban crypto? Not exactly. They did put in super heavy restrictions, which has definitely muted the cryptocurrency industry in China. However, China has been cracking down on crypto since 2014, and it has never really worked, to be honest. Remember in 2021 when China finally banned Bitcoin mining for good, and it was over. It was over. All the miners were forced overseas. China's share of hash rate effectively went to zero. Yeah, so like a year after that happened, China was back in business big time at the #2 spot in total hash rate once again. Can't keep it down, man. You can't stop it. The ban once again was a complete failure in China. And demand for crypto has not disappeared either, in spite of their crackdown on exchanges. One of the interesting things is that Asian markets didn't actually end up getting as badly burned by all the crazy stuff that happened with like BlockFi and Celsius and FTX. It might take a little more time for Western investors to feel ready to wade back into the crypto speculation, but Asian investors, they seem ready to rumble. Just check this story out. The new network Aptos has been popping super hard in South Korea, man. Apparently BTS is not the only big thing happening there right now. Investors are out looking for that next big coin, the next big thing, and they've decided it's gonna be Aptos, right? But that's Korea, not China. Still though, it shows that there is a lot of appetite in these advanced Asian economies. But perhaps one of the biggest things that happened in recent months is coming out of Hong Kong. You see, Hong Kong is now looking to make itself into a major crypto hub. I mean, about time, Hong Kong. Come on, playing the catch-up game here, buddy. And I know Hong Kong is under a different system than the mainland. You know, it's under the two systems, one country kind of deal, but it's still a big deal because Hong Kong has approved futures ETFs for Bitcoin and Ethereum already, and there are some pretty strong rumors flying around that we could soon see a spot ETF coming out for Bitcoin and Ethereum in the Hong Kong markets as well. The trick is going to then be how to get mainland money to easily access these products in Hong Kong. I mean, yeah, okay, sure. Obviously, all the high net worth guys from Shanghai and Beijing and whatever, they can get access to Hong Kong markets if they want it. But Chinese retail, that's where the real FOMO pumps start getting created. That money getting into Hong Kong will be the real game changer. So funneling Chinese investors into these regulated products is going to be the big thing that could really pump markets. And it actually makes sense because it's not the speculation that bothers the Chinese government. It's the capital flight problem. It's people moving money out of the country using Bitcoin to do it. They don't like that. And they also don't like the tax avoidance that often goes along with that. Getting people into ETFs solves both of those problems while at the same time letting people speculate on crypto, and they get to collect the ching in terms of the tax money the whole way through. It would also solve this scamming problem that is so often associated with crypto. Part of the reason that crypto pumped in 2019 was huge demand coming in from China as people flooded into this gigantic, I think it was called the Plus Coin Ponzi scheme. But there are two more stories that make me think that China could be getting ready to take the crypto world by storm. The first is this story, which actually got very little attention media-wise when it happened because we were all too damn depressed about the cryptocurrency markets. We were all too burnt by the FTX collapse, and of course it was Christmas as well, so there was that. But here it is. China is going to be launching a national NFT marketplace, basically a fully regulated, government-run market for trading NFTs, basically like the CCP OpenSea. That's pretty big. Monkey pictures to the moon, my friends. And the other story here is that possibly even one of the biggest stories related to China and crypto that I've heard in a long time is that China is introducing a 20% tax on crypto, or effectively is taxing crypto at 20%. This 20% tax applies to Bitcoin miners as well as cryptocurrency investors. Now, it's worth remembering that crypto is not technically illegal in China. You can actually own Bitcoin, Ethereum, all that stuff. They don't technically have a problem with that. In fact, it's protected as property legally by Chinese courts. But trading crypto, that is seen as an invalid civil act, which is still kind of a gray zone, not technically illegal. Anyway, this tax thing could be China finally saying, look, we can't beat them, so let's just tax them. The China narrative could be a major catalyst for markets in 2023, so watch for this story to continue to develop. Okay, that's it. Subscribe now. See you next time.